Welcome to another movie plot and enjoy the memories. We open with an evil sorcerer and two lizard folk searching for an ancient artifact. Unable to locate a real kraken, we switch to the second dimension before returning for the parting of water. In a cave at the end, the undead Damodar locates the orb of Phallasar and uses it to end his curse and restore all but his hair. The real power of the orb is that it can control the dragon god of decay, which has been imprisoned beneath a nearby mountain. Damodar wants revenge on the descendants of those who defeated him 100 years ago, which is namely a lord named Berek. He lives in the kingdom of Ishmir, where he was once the captain of the king's vanguard, but now his only fight is against property taxes. Fears that he might have grown as soft as his velvety pillows, Berek challenges his former student Valerious to a friendly duel. The moments to show us that the 30-year-old retiree still got it and can even perform unbelievable flips in a heavy suit of armor. Having just set up a nice arc between these two, they're never on screen together again, and later Valerious just explodes. During this time, Berek's wife Melora is trying to learn some super powerful spell from some dollar store scroll. She says that if she can pull this off, she'll get a seat on the mage's council, but a random peasant comes to deliver a side quest. Two villagers enter the dragon's cave and never return, so the courageous couple go to sort this crap out. Melora clears the stinky gas that seemed to kill the spelunkers and realizes that it's seeping out of the slumbering dragon. Berek lifts this creature's eyelid up like, yep, that's a dragon alright, so Melora thinks that now is when we should read some more books. It isn't, and she gets cursed by Damodar, who conveniently accidentally knocks the books into just the right position. They form into some kind of megazord book, so Melora reports her findings to the head of the mage's council, Oberon. It reads that thousands of years ago Mr. Phallasar was imprisoned by the orb, and anyone who controls it controls the dragon. Fearing that someone may have already taken the orb, Oberon uses a vision spell to take a peek, but is repelled by Damodar for being so nosy. Despite more qualified personnel, the king orders Berek to assemble a fellowship of the most photogenic warriors in the kingdom. The first he chooses is a skinny barbarian named Lux, who beats up some drunk bodybuilder for getting his map on her beer. She then also defeats some random ninja who wandered onto the set before stealing the other guy's stuff because he isn't using it. Second is the rogue Nim, who's out raiding a tomb with two 6-foot gremlins, but they stiff him on the paycheck. Nim just stands aside for the final trap, letting the imbeciles burn to death over a couple of shillings when they aren't able to figure it out. There's also a warhammer-wielding cleric with racing stripes on his head named Dorian, who somehow makes Lux's face tattoo look classy. And finally an elven mage named Ormaline, as our fellowship needs a powerful magic user and someone with pointy ears. They all agree to locate the evil sorcerer Damodar for the king, because I guess none of them have anything better to do. Since they don't know his location, Berek suggests that they travel to a warlock's pool of sight, which the mage chick can use to locate him. During their journey, Nim says that the pool's dangerous and the last user died when he accidentally teleported himself into a wall. There's some infighting between Lux and Nim with no real reason, while Berek's responsible for killing her brother, but nothing comes of it because he was crazy. When they're all away, the city mages do some hocus pocus to decipher the magic book and find a way to defeat the dragon. Melora conjures a fire baby to help, but it just burns down the library, requiring Oberon to use his staff of extinguisher. He's a real piece of work, this wizard, as he's shunned Melora this whole time for being a woman. But now that he learns that she's suffering from Damodar's curse, he's like, such a shame, you would have made a great mage. When she later tries to help, he says that the moment she converts into full undead, he'll incinerate her body. She's deciphered more of the strange symbols in the ancient tome and believes they need to burn it to reveal the missing pages. Other mages think she's undead and is trying to destroy the book, but Oberon trusts her enough to try it. The pages burn away and create a mini tornado to lead them through the library, revealing a hidden entrance inside the council chambers. It leads to a chamber beneath Ishmir built by the mages who created the orb, but they need the key to get inside. Meanwhile, the main group travels through Hartshorn Forest, which is said to be haunted, but also the quickest way to their destination. To reach the other side of a river, they set up camp and begin making a raft out of logs that the cleric knocks down with his hammer. Soon Berek hears Dorian screaming and finds the clumsy cleric stuck under a fallen tree. It's just the illusion of an undead lich called Klaxx the Maligned, as the party have wandered into his necropolis. The rest of the team arrive to save Berek and fight the ugly dude off long enough to run away, so he conjures up an army of spirits. They chase the group through the forest to the raft, and with the help of Dorian, who holds off the supernatural warriors, Ormaline uses her own magic to sail them across to the other side, where they probably could have just swam across hours ago. Lux and Nim stop their bickering now that they've fought together, though they had no reason to hate each other in the first place. When our party reach their destination, they find the goblin village deserted and ransack the chief's hut looking for a map. Nim locates a loot box inside a booby trap that requires removing it from a distance so as not to be impaled by many swords. Nim disintegrates the lock with the stomach acid of a corrosive worm and retrieves a journal describing the whereabouts of the seer's pool. Suddenly everything becomes cold as a white dragon arrives, so everybody scrambles for cover as this thing is probably a bit dangerous. The only one who confronts the creature is Dorian, but his magic is no match for a dragon, so he's immediately turned into a popsicle. His death encourages the others to fight, and we should have just started with Ormaline because she blows the dragon into pieces. They hold a funeral for the freeze-dried cleric and continue on their journey until reaching the empty location on the map. Nim uses a gem of true seeing that he found at the goblin village to reveal the shrine at the entrance to the pool. Ormaline removes the veil to read a warning that all those who enter will be met with death, so of course we need to find a way inside. A random army of rabid bums show up, so the two best fighters hold them back while the girls try to figure out the password. It's just the name of the demon who built the thing, but Lux has fallen into a bloodlust and needs to be mage-balled back to her senses. They all make it inside the shrine before the random village people swarm them and begin to search the vault for the seer's pool. They wake a swarm of sealing squid called dark mantles and must fight their way through to the other side of the vault. Coming across a room of lit floor panels, the mage sends her pet pigeon in to investigate it, but it gets fried like the kernel. She then sniffs out a hidden lever behind a wall that requires all four to reach simply because Nim is so short. Behind it, a mirror reflects a safe path across the chamber, which they all use to traverse and secure their way to the pool of sight. The mirror closes for Nim as he crosses, causing him to get badly wounded, so he now needs to be carried for the remainder of the film. Just like the stories say, the previous user is shown still stuck inside a wall, so let's hope that Ormaline knows what she's doing. Teleporting them into Damodar's castle, an arm immediately gets stuck inside a wall while the others get captured in a bone cage. They still manage to escape and fight back so that Berek can chop off the sorcerer's arm before he can use the orb on them. Retrieving it, Berek is forced to chop off a second arm in 2 sentences so that Ormaline can teleport them back to Ishmir. Damodar loses his weird servant who would spend weekends pouring blood into his master's colon because why not? He calls upon the lizard folk to regrow his arm, then sends multiple demons through a portal after the thieves. They've left the injured pair at a temple with clerics, so Lux stays behind to delay the creatures while Berek goes home with the orb. Lux appears to die in the attack while Berek makes it to the castle right in time for Valerious' archers to kill a pursuing demon. He delivers the orb to Melora, who uses it to unlock the chamber but finds it empty with a few leaves in the center. Suddenly there's an explosion, killing the king, the mages council, Valerious, and everybody else except for the main couple. Oberon was already killed off-screen earlier and was replaced with the shapeshifter Klaxx, who flies away with the orb. He delivers it to Damodar, who uses it to awaken Phallasar, who flies over to them like a well-trained pet. Don't get it twisted who's in charge, as the dragon destroys the orb and requires 100 human sacrifices every month from his new thrall. Demi is all giddy he gets to witness the destruction of Ishmir as Phallasar flies overhead like a bomber dropping fire from above. Meanwhile, Melora's looking a little worse for wear, but she looks different every time the cameras switch. She realizes that leaves were inside the chamber because the ones who imprisoned the dragon were praying for the god of nature. She does so and a beam of light opens up as a reward for her faith, so the flaky woman enters and retrieves a new orb. She brings it to the top of the mage's tower with a few old dudes for protection while Berek goes after Damodar on horseback. Melora is knocked unconscious by the dragon, so another mage tries to use the orb, but Mother Nature isn't having it. The Lich just ditches Damodar and we never see him again while Berek chases the evil sorcerer down on horseback. Just then the still-living Lux returns to the movie and startles the horse, causing Demi to be thrown off into a field. But before she can behead him with a dagger, Berek stays her hand and forces the loser to remove the curse on his wife. A few other mages are killed before he finally concedes his defeat and destroys the voodoo charm made from Melora's hair. She wakes up imbued with a bottle of lotion and unleashes a finishing blow from the orb that sends failures plummeting into the river. The dragon god is sealed away underground once again, and Ishmir is saved at last, though probably needs the next century to recover. Melora is appointed as the new head of the Mages' Council, but somehow all of the villains survived. And the movie ends.